Hello, my name is Lana Shalomov, and I am the host of the page called Magic of NeuroGraphic Art. I also abbreviate as MONGA, M-O-N-G-A. This is a page where I put all the beautiful artwork that I create, and I use an art process called NeuroGraphica. I put my beautiful artwork on the MONGA page, and a number of times I had people ask me, how do you do this? What is the secret? What is main, so to say, point of drawing this picture? Is it just for art or is there something else? Well, here I am today. I am going to open up my secrets. Well, some of my secrets, that is. First, I would like to show you the artwork that I'm talking about that people have been asking me. What is it that I do? This is an example of NeuroGraphic art. I'm going to show you the artwork so you can understand I want to see if you notice what is the major component of all the pictures. So while showing you the pictures, I'm going to tell you a little bit about each one of them. So pictures, each picture has a topic, has a quest, so to say, has a goal, or just a theme. There are different ways you can call it. The main point is before I start to draw the picture, I put a quest in my mind. And later on, I'm going to show you how to do that. For now, I'm just going to tell you what was the quest, the topic for some of the pictures that I have already showed you. So this picture was, I was planning to go to Israel with my daughter. So I drew a picture where I had a quest that I would have an amazing time. I would get to see a lot of Israel, lots of sightseeing. That was my goal. And I would get to tour Israel a lot. So that was the point of this picture. This picture was a drawing. My daughter, Esther, her name is Esther Malka Tamar. She got sick. So I decided to draw a picture with her name, and that's what you're going to see here. There's a name here. Shleima, which means peace or to get well. Refuah Shleima, this is how we say in Hebrew, to get well for somebody. May God speed your healing. And this is how I have her name. It's Tamar, and I'm trying to find her name. Emet. This is an abbreviation of her name is Emet. Esther Malka Tamar. This is a picture I drew for her to be well, to get well soon. Some pictures I honestly don't remember the topic, but I'm going to show it to you for illustrative purposes, just so you can understand what it's about. This was another picture that I drew about the trip to Israel with my daughter, and you can see over here it says Yerushalayim. This picture was to draw the topic. The quest for this picture was to lead a healthy lifestyle. I drew the triangles were symbols, were representation of such thing as going to the gym and working out and eating healthier. And this picture was drawn in June of this year, 2018. And after I came back from Israel in August, I signed up for the gym, and I want to tell you, I was not a gym goer. I actually did not believe in a gym. I thought that people who go to the gym are like a little masochist, because, you know, who wants to go to the gym and sweat and get it, you know, get it all out? So I'm an avid gym goer now. I love going to the gym. If I don't go to the gym for 2-3 days, I go crazy. So yes, I definitely attribute it to this picture. This is another picture I drew. I'm showing you this picture just so you will get an idea of what neurographic art is. If you haven't already, go into my page, MONGA, Magic of Neurographic Art. And I also have a group called Planet NeuroGraphic Art. Planet NeuroGraphic Art, basically. And over there, I put all the events, and you probably will see this video as well on that page, on that group. I put all the live events, and I do live events. We have a neurographic club in Brooklyn, New York. We gather every Wednesday morning at 10 o'clock. If you're interested, PM me and I will give you the details where exactly we're meeting. I'll be happy to have you. This is a picture I drew for Rosh Hashanah. You may recognize the pomegranates, the apples, the honey and the bees, the flowing honey and the shofar. Yes, this was a symbolic for a Happy New Year. Beautiful beginning of a new year. Oh, this picture is exciting. This is a picture I drew for reorganizing my house. I was thinking about moving for a long period of time, and I couldn't find the apartment I like. I love the apartment I live in now, but there were a few nuances that I'm not happy with, and I wanted to move. So as a result, I couldn't find any apartment I wanted to move to. So guess what? I just remodeled my apartment, and it's just like moving into a new place. We moved the furniture around, we remodeled. It really looks stunning. So yeah, this is a picture about that. Another picture I have here. I think at this point you already get the idea that neurographic art has a number of shapes. That's right, shapes. Like this picture has an oval, and it's not the typical picture, but the typical neurographic art, you will see lots of circles, a square, some triangles, this is what I drew for my family when my kids started school this year. I drew a picture to make sure that they are adjusting well, that they're harmoniously adjusting to their new school. This is another picture I drew. So here you can see a circle, a square, and a triangle. And another typical, so to say, symbol of neurographic art, you can see some waves, right? The waves are very, very important in neurographic art. Like I said, I will be explaining very soon. Stay tuned. I want to show you my latest picture in neurographic art that I just drew, actually finished drawing today. It's a mandala. Well, it's called also the sacred circle. I actually will be very soon doing a video on the symbol of circle in Judaism, the symbol of circle in Judaic studies, and the symbol of circle in Kabbalah. So it's very interesting. While drawing the mandala, I started studying it and found out that this is a very symbolic figure in Judaism as well as in other religions and followings. So this is my latest picture. I want to tell you a little bit about myself. Like I mentioned before, my name is Lana Shalom. Currently, I practice being an instructor of NeuroGraphic Art and a coach. So I have been practicing for the last 2 years. And as we speak, within the next few weeks, I will be presenting my diploma in NeuroGraphic Art and becoming a fully certified instructor. And the presentation will be done by the Institute of Creative Psychology, which is the only institute at this point that certifies instructors for NeuroGraphic Art and gives classes and seminars and sessions in NeuroGraphic Art. The institute is located in Switzerland. It is led by Pavel Piskaryov. The institute is led by Pavel Piskaryov. This is him. I found him on my phone. This is a nice looking guy. He is a coach. He's a psychologist. He practices a lot of meditative. He's very much learned in a lot of meditative practices, such as Tai Chi, Qigong. He practices Reiki, as far as I know. So he's the one who founded NeuroGraphica. He coined the term NeuroGraphica, and he copyrighted it. He speaks mainly Russian, and thus if you look for the word NeuroGraphica in YouTube, you will find a lot of videos in Russian. As far as I know, this is one of the few videos, if any, in English at this point. However, we have a great team of NeuroGraphic instructors in US as we speak currently. So I foresee a surge of NeuroGraphic movement in US, and I want to tell you, I'm very excited because this is a very, very exciting process and method. So let's start. And before we continue, I would like to show you a picture that my daughter, I was the one to draw the wavy lines, the ones I was talking about. And my daughter, my 6.5-year-old, colored in the pictures, and she was so proud. She's like, Mommy, look, now I draw just like you do. So I just want to tell you, this is amazing when generations start to draw NeuroGraphica. I'm very proud of that. So let's start. I'm going to transfer the screen and show you the paper and discuss and explain to you every little step of what NeuroGraphic Art is composed of. And then together we're going to draw the whole composition, the whole picture, and I will guide you step by step. You ready? So, number one thing you will need, I'm going to show you right away, you will need a paper. A regular 8x12 paper would suffice. I got a little bigger one just to show you something, just to practice some line drawing. But regular 8x12 is fine. We need markers. Regular black, the best ones are permanent markers. And I like to color with highlighters. I find them to be very, lively and bright and coloring in. Some people enjoy coloring with pencils. Some people enjoy coloring with regular markers. Your choice. Try out different things and see what you're comfortable with. So let's transfer, and I'm going to start showing you the basics of what NeuroGraphic Art is all about. So this is how we start the NeuroGraphic Art. The basic elements of NeuroGraphic Art are shapes, such as a circle, square, and triangle. So these are the basic shapes of NeuroGraphic Art. NeuroGraphic Art consists of 4 basic symbols: circle, square, triangle, and a neurographic line. Something that we're going to discuss very soon. Actually, let's start with neurographic line. Because drawing a circle and a square and a triangle is something that we kind of all know. It's a basic shape. So let's start with something called neurographic line. What is neurographic line? I want to make sure you all see my video. This is neurographic line. A neurographic line, by definition, is a line that starts and goes with your mind, okay? When you start the line, I will give you a different example. This is a wavy line. This is not a neurographic line. No, this is not what we want. We want a neurographic line. A neurographic line definitely has a line that goes up and down, but a neurographic line is something that we do not control with our mind where it takes us, okay? You let your hand go wherever it takes you, okay? If it takes you up, you let it go. If it takes you down, let it go. You basically try not to control the direction of the line. What you do control is the waves that it creates. We do not want to create any pattern. A pattern like this is not a neurographic line. A neurographic line is something that... Neurographic line is a line that goes with whatever your hand takes you, whatever your mind takes you, but you do have to control so that the line doesn't turn into a pattern. That's not what we want. But we start the line here and let it take. If you want to make some waves, that's okay, as long as it's not pattern-like. We do not want any pattern, and that's the main point. In this video, I'm just introducing you to the neurographic line making. I am not talking in length and in depth about why is it this way or where it came from. That is something that I will be discussing more at the course that I'm offering for the basic level. To become a basic user, a basic level user for neurographic art, you're welcome to take a course with me that's coming up very soon. And that's the course where I will be explaining in details why do we draw a line like that and where it comes from, what is the psychological background and philosophical background of the line. All of it is explained in a different course. In this introductory video, I'm just going to show you how to draw a neurographic picture. So, like I mentioned, take a piece of paper, take a marker. You can watch me how I do it first, but follow your hand and your mind. Do not try to, follow your hand and your intuition, not your mind. Do not try to control your line. Let your line go anywhere they want to go. It can go up and down at a certain point. It can get anywhere you want to. But make sure it does not create a pattern. That's what you're controlling. You're controlling to make sure there's no pattern in your neurographic line. Okay? So what I would like for you to do is take a piece of paper and just draw a few lines going from the lower left angle corner to the upper right corner. Okay, so this is how you draw a neurographic. Now we will discuss another important aspect of what a neurographic art consists of. Like I mentioned before, neurographic art consists of circle, square, and a triangle. The important line in neurographic art is a neurographic line. It's a line that lets your intuition is the one that takes the line. It can go into any direction. However, you have to control the waves of the line. They should not be pattern-like. They should not be identical to each other. So another important aspect in neurographic art is something I'm going to show you. As you notice, we have a lot of lines like you saw in this picture. I had a lot of lines going one way. Now, what if you decide you want a line to go from your lower right side to go to your upper left side? That's allowed. Okay, so you're making a neurographic line. Now what happens? This line crosses a few other lines that were going this way. What do we do here? This is a very important aspect. Everywhere that lines crisscross, everywhere where lines intersect, we have to curve them out. What does it mean to curve them out? I'm going to show you up close what I mean by that. Okay. So we have lines going up, and now lines going horizontally. And now we have intersections. Now, this is very important to see. Wherever the lines crisscross, wherever there is an intersection, we have to curve them out. How do we do that? This is very important. There should be no angle. So far, what we see is an angle. According to the law, to the rules, in order for a neurographic art to be successful, meaning in order for it successfully work, in order for you to reach your quest, you need to curve it out. How do we curve out an intersection? We take a marker and we go like this. Okay? Put a little curve where the angle was. We don't want to see any corners. We don't want to see any angles. An angle is not something we desire in neurographic art. In neurographic art, we curve everything out. I'm going to show you examples of my curving. I would like for you to do the same thing, okay? Watch me how I make it, and then take your own paper, make few lines just like I did, create few intersections, and then practice. Very important to practice curving out before you actually start the composition that I will start later on. Actually, very, very soon. See what happens? When I curve out, see there's a little mark here, and you can see where the curving finishes and the line that I created before exists. So what I do is when I finish the curve, I take my marker and I go over the line so it looks harmoniously. So it actually fit in with the picture and it looks nice and harmoniously. Do you see what happened a little bit here? I created a little, like my line went off from the original line. So what I do is, like I said before, I don't want any corners, any angles. I go over it again and I create a little curve. Okay, here's another corner, another angle that I would like to curve out for the purpose of neurographic art. So this process called curving out is one of the most important processes in neurographic art. Okay, look what happens here. You see, I have a very narrow path here. So what do? If I go over it like this, you see, whether I want it or not, there's a little angle created here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to curve it out. I don't want to have any chance of having any angles in my pictures. No picture should have an angle, and that's something you probably noticed. If not, then you will start noticing that in any neurographic art, the angles are curved out. You will see no angles most of the time, and this is one of the main components of how neurographic art is created. Okay, so here it is, the main components of neurographic art. Like I mentioned before, circle, square, and triangle. But for now, what we're going to start with is a neurographic line. Please practice your line before actually drawing the picture with me. And another very important component of the neurographic art is when we have an intersection to curve it out, okay? This is the main steps you should remember when drawing a neurographic art, because I foresee that after watching this video, you'll be making lots and lots of neurographic art. And you know what? I'll be completely honest with you, I would love to see your pictures. And if you would like me to give you a feedback on your neurographic art pictures, you're welcome to post them in my group, Magic of Neurographic Art, on Facebook. Now there is another group that's called Magic Neurographica. That's my friend actually hosting that page. My page is called Magic of NeuroGraphic Art. It's a page, or if you would like to be in my group, it's called Planet NeuroGraphic Art, like this. Okay, this is a group, and you are very welcome to post your pictures there, and then you can tag me, Lana Shalamov, and ask me for my feedback, and I can tell you how harmonious your picture is. I can give you some pointers if you needed some more curving, or if you need anything else. And now let's start our neurographic art. So, okay, let's start. I'm excited. How about you? Ready? We're going to start our neurographic drawing. So, number one rule, what we do, before we start drawing, we make a quest. What is a quest? A quest is your goal, is your topic, is your theme. What is it that you're seeking when drawing this picture? Okay? For example, I'm going to give you a very simple example. I am going to draw, my goal for this picture will be so my topic for this picture will be my quest, my theme. I call it a quest because it's actually a quest. It's not just a goal, it's not just a theme, but it's a quest. It's something that you seek. So what am I seeking? I am seeking for this video to become very popular, for this quest to become for my manga to become very popular, and for my group Planet NeuroGraphic Art to become also very popular and to have more followers. And this is going to be my quest. So let's start. This is the way we're going to start. This is a very basic neurographic art. So my quest is to make my video popular, to have a popular neurographic art page, and to have a neurographic YouTube channel, and to have a neurographic art group that will be populated with more participants, with more people who are just as excited about discovering neurographic art as I was about 2 years ago. So that's my quest. Now, when I think about this quest, what am I doing? I'm actually start thinking about the fact that this quest is really far away. How am I going to fulfill it? What am I going to do? How will I find all those participants? How will anybody find me? Do you see what I'm trying to do here? I'm trying to stress myself out. And this is main key. The key in the beginning is to stress yourself out, to give yourself some grief, so that you can start drawing something that's called the release of emotions. What is a release of emotions? Okay, before we start drawing, yet again, another exercise. A release of emotions is something that we draw graphically, okay? There are different ways we can release emotions. We can scream, we can say, ah. That's a great way to release emotion. Some people go to the gym to release their emotions, right? They go, they work out, and that's a great way to release emotion. Before I started doing NeuroGraphica, I actually drew. You know, I just drew some pictures, I colored in. Some people color in, right? There are a lot of coloring books sold that have special coloring books that help you to release stress, to release emotions, negative emotions, of course. Women to say is to get rid of negative emotions inside your body. So what does neurographic art do? What we're going to do is we're going to scream and we're going to draw. first I'm going to draw an example so you understand, and what you can do is take a paper and do the same thing, okay? This is how we release our emotion. Think about all the build-up stress that I had about this topic, this quest of mine. You know, how am I going to get that video popular? I have to get followers, and you know, I don't know how to do that. I'm not a PR agent, you know, I don't know how to do marketing, all that stuff. You see what I'm doing? I'm getting myself very upset. This is what we do. I'm putting down the marker, and now for a few seconds, literally a few seconds, I'm going to scream and I'm going to draw. When you draw, let your hand do whatever it wants. Let your intuition take over at this point. Do you remember when we talked about intuition with drawing the neurographic line? This is it, okay? Intuition is very important when it comes to neurographic art. Ready? First, I'm just gonna give you a release. I'm just gonna give you an example, and maybe later on we're gonna draw. We'll see. Ready? I'm counting in my mind 1, 2, 3, literally. If you think you need some help, you can just put a timer for literally 3 to 4 seconds. I'm not joking. And this is how I'm gonna do. Think about my quest. How am I going to do it? And ready? Ready, set, scream. Ah! This is it. That's the release of my emotions on the paper. Do you see how it is? It's a neurographic picture. Now, we're going to transform. This is the right word. In neurographic art, transformation is one of the most important concepts as well, in addition to the other ones we discussed. So, what we're going to do, this is our stress picture. This is a stress picture. What we're going to do is we're going to transform this stress picture into a beautiful work of art. Ready? Let's go. The first thing we do is we're going through the picture, and everywhere where we see angles, we're going to curve them out. We're curving them out. You're going to notice a lot of times I'm not going to talk a lot, but I will be drawing. Neurographic art is a meditative drawing. I lead a class. It used to be on Thursdays. Now we transferred to Wednesdays. On Wednesday mornings in Brooklyn. And during the class, I often tell my students a lot of things about neurographic art. And they often ask me, they tell me, can you tell us later, while we're curving something out, and this is something that I actually taught them, we would like to be quiet. This is a meditative process where while curving out, we think about what's going on with us. Now, I just realized I did something automatic without explaining it to you. Now, I'm gonna do it again. Let's say there was a line over here, just like before, and it wasn't finished. It was just like that, abrupt, in the middle of the page. What we're going to do is we're going to take that line and take it to any side of the page. You can make a neurographic line and take it to the side of the page. So, first step that we're going to do always in any neurographic art is curving out the angles. Okay? So everywhere there are angles in my picture, in my neurographic release, tension release, I am curving them out. I hope you can see how I'm curving them out. I actually have another video where very up close I show how I can curve out the angles. You're welcome to watch that video as well. It's on my list. My name is Lana Shalomov, like I mentioned, and I have a YouTube channel. And that's the YouTube channel it's on. You see what I'm doing? I am curving out the angles, and while curving out, right after I curve out, what I do is I take the line and I use my marker to go further, to go over the line that's already drawn, that's already a part of my neurographic tension release, and I just go over it again. While drawing and curving out, since this is a video on teaching you how to do it, I will actually be telling you something interesting. I will actually be telling you a little bit about neurographic line, and I will actually be telling you why we need to go over the line. Why it's so important for us to go over the line? The term NeuroGraphica or neurographic line was copyrighted by Pavel Piskaryov. He's the founder of NeuroGraphic Art, and he took the term neurographica, this is how you say it in Russian, neurographica. You can practice saying that if you want to, of course, if you have Russian friends who you can ask. Now, I mind you, most Russians are not aware of this term. This is not like, you know, the Russians who know the name of Yuri Gagarin, who was the very first astronaut to ever fly into space. I'm going to tell you, almost all Russians know that. But neurographica is a new term. Pavel Piskaryov has copyrighted it only 4 years ago. Look at this line. Do you see? I curved this out. And this line, you can visibly see it. It's a little pale compared to the curving out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this line and go over it. So this is it. Look at my picture. I curved all the angles out. Doesn't it look great? Now, what I'm going to do next, are you ready? I am going to continue transformation of my picture. Now, when we curve out the lines in the picture, in the original tension picture, we have just transformed the little stress, that was sitting inside us that we released while we were screaming out and drawing, graphically expressing ourselves, so to say. We are going to, we have transformed it. And it's transformed really deep inside ourselves. Now, in order for this picture to take effect, in order for this picture to be fully transformed, we're going to transform the outside of the picture, okay? This picture right now is our body. It's inside of ourselves. Outside is the environment. Now, we don't live in a cave. We don't live in a vacuum. Even if you do live in a cave, you still don't live in a cave, because we work with our environment. It may be other people. It may not necessarily be other people. Even if you just live on the farm and you work with nature and you work with animals, you still interact with other beings, with other environment around you. You interact with them, and that's the environment that we need to bring into our picture. So far, there are no environments. The line, the white paper around my main picture is white. What I'm going to do is now, I'm going to take my picture, start on any point, it doesn't matter. Start over here, let's say, draw a neurographic line and take it out to the white part of the picture, okay? For the sake of this exercise, I'm going to ask you, and let's try it out in my own picture, to draw 10 neurographic lines going from the middle of the picture. Doesn't matter, you can choose any pinpoint, any curving point, for example, and just go to the side of the page. Okay, while you're doing that, don't forget to curve out anything that has an intersection. Rules are rules. Curving on intersection is an important rule in neurographic art. Okay, so 10 neurographic lines, okay? And look what happens. I drew a line from this curving point, but while I drew it, look what happened. I created another angle. What I'm going to do is I'm going to curve it out, okay? Remember, curving is an important part. This is how you transform your picture. And by transforming your picture, I'm going to give you a little secret. There it is. You're transforming your reality, okay? So let's draw 10 lines, and then while curving them out, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about why we need to transform them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Basically, I don't want any big white open spaces, okay? I'm trying to fill up the space as much as possible. So far, I did 9. I'm going to do 10. and I'm going to add a few more lines. I'll tell you why. Over here, over here, over here, and over here, the spaces are too wide open. I want them to be a little more filled, okay? So 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Wow, voila, look at this. We filled up the space so beautifully. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to curve out all the angles. Look how many angles we created. You see all the angles we have created. Everywhere the lines intersect, we see an angle, we need to curve it out. And while curving them out, I'm going to tell you something about the neurographic line. This is what Pavel Piskaryov, the founder, has discovered. He has discovered that the neurographic line looks a lot like the neuron pathway, neuro pathways. That's right, the neuro pathways are the pathways that go from your brain, that give impulses from your brain to the body parts to do whatever it is that your brain decided to do. For example, I'm deciding to draw now. My brain is telling my hand to use a marker, to hold it a certain way, and to draw. This is a very, very complex process. If anybody ever studied, I remember taking the neuropsychology in college. It was one of the hardest classes, by the way. I have a background in psychology, as you can understand. It's a background that I use while working as a coach. And this is what's going on. If you look, if you Google, you can stop right now. You can pause me so you can catch up later, and Google neural pathways. And you will see how the pictures look exactly like the neurographic lines that we draw. Also, if you ever saw an EKG line, it's also something that looks like this, right? It's a line that it seems like it has a pattern, but it really doesn't have a pattern. And it has waves, but the waves do not have a pattern to them. They go up and down, and they resemble, the EKG is from what I know is a heartbeat. I hope I'm not mistaking it. And this is it. This is very interesting. So we are drawing a line. We are going to so neural pathways look like the neurographic line. So basically, when we draw a neurographic line, we are trying to imitate the neural pathways in our body, right? And what is neural pathways? If anybody ever studied the law of attraction, what I can suggest is listening to Joe Dispenza or reading his book about the subconscious work, how the subconscious works. And we all know, and if you don't, you're welcome to study more about visualizations, which is visualizing something. The law of attraction, one of the main components, states that if you visualize something, then whatever it is that you visualize will come true, because this is how the brain is created, and this is how the reality is created. Basically, the reality is exactly what our brain has created. Like I said before, Joe Dispenza is the name of the author that I highly recommend to read in regards to this literature. It's truly amazing. It's called, it's also called Quantum Physics. It's something you can read more. I used to read Joe Vitale, also amazing author when it comes. Watching the movie The Secret is something that I would also recommend if you, let's say, want to watch it as opposed to reading it, although I recommend a lot of times audiobooks, like the same Joe Dispenza book. You can read. I actually listened to it while I was cooking or while I was doing stuff, and it was really amazing. So watching the movie Secret, it's actually, I believe it's on YouTube, so you're welcome to watch it. Secret is really amazing to watch. It tells you a lot. Not a lot actually, but it does give you a glimpse into what I'm telling you. The law of attraction is that whatever your mind thinks, whatever you visualize is that you see it with your own mind. It's like you have eyes inside your mind, right? If you close your eyes now and you imagine, let's do something sensory. Let's eating an ice cream. If you imagine eating an ice cream, you close your eyes, you can actually visualize, meaning you can see with your inner eyes, inside yourself, you can see a picture of you eating or licking that favorite ice cream of yours. And that's called visualization. And I can guarantee if you practice visualization, you can actually even taste. Let's say if I imagine, close my eyes, I imagine eating Haagen-Dazs. Look, I don't even need to close my eyes. I'm drawing and I'm imagining already. And guess what? I am tasting the taste of Haagen-Dazs, my favorite Haagen-Dazs ice cream, which is almond, dark chocolate, or milk chocolate with vanilla inside. And it's truly amazing. I just got a little taste of it in my mouth right now. There you go. I just had an ice cream without actually eating it. But this is the power of visualization. Okay, transforming your reality. Now, just because I tasted it doesn't mean I ate the ice cream. No, of course not, because as you can see, I'm not eating ice cream now. Not even stopping the video to eat the ice cream because I don't have it at home. I will have to call my husband later on to pick me up a box from a pharmacy. But anyway, let's get back to the topic of transforming your reality. So it has been proven that the study is called quantum physics. Has been proven by quantum physicists that whatever you imagine in your mind, you can easily bring it to your body. In this case that I just showed you, in my example, by imagining Haagen-Dazs ice cream, guess what? I already tasted it. Even though it wasn't the real taste of the ice cream, I tasted a glimpse. I kind of like had the taste because I did it so many times that my mind, my body remembers what it's like to taste the ice cream, the Haagen-Dazs ice cream. So by imagining, I kind of brought the neurons, so to say, in my mind to kind of bring that taste kind of to life in my mouth. Hopefully you were able to understand what I'm trying to say. If not, like I said before, Joe Dispenza, enjoy the read, listen to the audio story, audiobook. It's amazing. So basically, since what we visualize is what's happening in reality, what's happening here is by visualizing, and this is actually the main point. When we draw the picture, this is the reason why my students tell me, let's meditate, and I do that. I turn on some meditative music or like bird chirping on YouTube, and we listen to it, and we curve out, and I look at the topic, I look at my quest, and I meditate. Basically, I imagine myself what it would be like once my video becomes very popular and I have more followers and I have more students. And this is my dream, to develop the method of NeuroGraphic Art in US, to start having students. I'm also, as a coach, I also would like to get some clients who would be interested in getting me to coach them using NeuroGraphic Art in achieving whatever it is that they desire. I have done it a number of times already and has been very successful. So I'm very confident in that ability of mine. So that's one thing that I would like to work on. Do you see what I'm doing? I'm curving out the lines and I'm thinking about what it is that I would like to achieve while working, when I will reach my quest, when my quest is fulfilled. And what else? Also, while curving out, this is what I tell my students. Don't just imagine, but start brainstorming. What can I do in order to reach my quest, in order to get what I need? And what I need, for example, I'm going to start thinking, what is it that I need to do? What can I do? What actions? And this is where we come from, the actual act of visualization, right? Of visualizing something, or kind of dreaming or fantasizing about something, to the actual steps that will actually, in reality, change what your reality is all about, right? So while curving out, I'm also starting to think, I wonder, what can I do? What can I do in order to achieve my goal, in order for my quest to come true? And I start thinking, and this is a part of where the magic is happening. Guess what? While you're drawing, because the neurographic lines resemble the neural pathways, by drawing them, you're kind of creating new neural pathways. You're kind of creating a new reality. And all those brainstorming ideas that you have will take effect. They will become realistically available. If you ask me how, I don't have an answer to that question. I'm a God-fearing person, so I would say God, not just God-fearing, I'm a God-loving person. I truly do believe in God, but for those of you who don't necessarily believe in this concept called God, you may say the universe will provide it for you. Whatever it is, just remember, that's why it's called the magic. That's why my specific page is called the magic. I call it magical because something magical happens when you draw neurographic art, and that magic is what's going to take effect. So look at this. I finished curving out all the angles in my picture. What am I doing next? What I'm doing next is I'm going to start on the basic elements, basic shapes in my picture. Now, we are not going to do the triangle at this point because that's something that happens in the more advanced stage. As beginners, what I'm going to teach you is how to bring out circles in your neurographic picture. So look at this. I want to show you something. If you look at my picture, you can see already that I have a lot of beautiful waves and beautiful lines, and I have some circles, some oval, but I have something here that looks like a circle, but it's kind of not complete. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to complete that circle that my mind drew subconsciously. This was a part of the original release of tension picture. My mind subconsciously drew half of a circle, like even more than half. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over like this. Do you see what I'm doing? This is very important. Voila. Okay. Now, do you remember what we do? Every time we draw something and there are intersections, we curve them out. Look at this. This line that I drew has angles, so I'm going to curve them out. Curving out is very important. By curving out, we get rid of tension because angles have tension in them. And curving out releases the tension and helps to transform the picture, and as a result, like we talked about, when we transform the picture, we actually transform our reality. Okay, so this is like somewhat of a circle. It's a little like angled out, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over it and now draw a circle that I find to be fit to be a perfect circle. Voila, now I made a circle. Again, going over the line, and everywhere I created angles by drawing a new line, I'm going to go over it and curve them out. Okay, so if anybody ever wakes you up in the middle of the night and asks you, what is the most important component in neurographic art? You're going to say, curve them out. That and the neurographic line, okay? If you know those two important terms, that's it. You're good. You're welcome to create your own neurographic art and join my group. I would love to see them. I would love to cheer for you. I would love to kind of give you some kind of support you during this beginning process when you're just learning how to draw neurographic art and you're just discovering the magic. So when we draw, the reason why I go over each line is that the neural pathways, the neural lines that we create by drawing neurographic lines, just like everything else, they go stronger, right? If it's a faintest line, it can easily be colored over or drawn over. But if it's a strong, thick line, like you see what I'm doing, I'm using a nice thick marker, and then it's so much harder to be like drawn upon. And that's what happens. This is what our goal is. Our goal is to create healthy neural lines in our mind that will later on create a new reality for us. Okay, so this is my circle. I'm going to create one more circle, and then we're going to start the next step of our magic, coloring in. It's beautiful. Okay, you see what happens over here? Yeah, you see that. Okay, do you see this half a circle? Oops, look what happened. I created a little line. What I'm going to do, I'm going to neurograph it. There you go. You see I created a new neurographic line. Curve it out. Make sure I have no angles. Don't want any angles in my pictures. I want it to be nice and circly and harmonious. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. The circle that I have here, I'm going to turn it into a circle, but I'm not going to make it full because I want to tuck it in under the bigger circle that I created before. So there, right? If you guessed it, you're right. I am curving all the intersection lines. I want to tell you something. This is a tedious process. Yes, it is. You may tell me, oh no, and I have students who do that. I don't want to create more lines because then I have to curve it out. And I say, well, the more you create lines, the better your reality, the more solid you will create your new reality. Imagine having a new reality with solid neural lines as opposed to some few neural lines here and there. It's important to have more lines. It's important to go over them because we want solid new reality. This is how I'm going to explain it to you. Okay, so far I have one circle and two circles, right? I'm going to show you something else. Look over here. Do you see this curve? I want to tell you the interesting part about neurographic line. Any curve you see can be created into a circle. Are you ready? I'm going to show you a few examples. Voila. And then what you can do is you can either just curve it out or you can just create more lines and connect the circle to the other neural lines. See what I'm doing? Okay, now see this curve? Circle. Just take the curve that already exists in your picture, go over it again, and then let your hand take you into creating. Now you can either leave the circle open or you can create a little neural line inside. And this way, this circle now is a part of your new neural reality. Now it's just neuro because it's just in your mind. But after we transform and create a beautiful picture, and you can put it on the wall and look at it every single day, your reality will be transformed. Now, I want to tell you something that I didn't tell you before. When you create your topic, it's very important to create a topic, at least for the beginning, something simple. Do not create a topic where you buy a house, where you get married, you have a baby. This is very complex topic, very complex quest. Okay, it requires much more than one picture. For the purpose of this trial, so to say, I would like for you to create a quest where you think about, you quest for something simpler. Ice cream for tomorrow, sushi, better weather, maybe even. Maybe even trying a new phone if it's not something big and expensive like an iPhone. I would like for you to start with little quests. This is how you work it out. This is how you get confident, draw more pictures, become confident, and ask for something more. You know, work your way through your quests. Don't ask for something grandiose right away. I want to make a circle here. Make a circle. Don't forget to curve it out. You see what happens? When you make a circle in the beginning, look what happens. The circle is just on its own. It's kind of attached to the picture, but you can easily spot it out. Right? It's not a part of the picture. Now, when you curve it out, look what happens. The circle magically becomes a part of the picture. Now, if you actually add a line from the circle to another line and then curve that out as well, guess what happens? The circle now becomes an actual part of your new picture. Do you see that? A part of your composition. And that's one of the reasons for curving out, is to let the picture integrate inside your whole composition. Now this circle, kind of standing out, I want to bring a little neurographic lines through it, and that's what I just did. See, now it integrated into the composition more wholesomely. Look at this. Do you see how this picture is starting to look a lot like the picture that I showed you before in the beginning of the session? Okay. I want to make a nice circle here. Now look what I discovered. I discovered the line that I didn't curve out. Quickly curve it out. And while I'm at it, I'm going to add a nice neurographic line through my circle. So this is how it works. Look at this. Now, this is very important. When you're working through the neurographic picture, do not try to see heart and a bird and a bunny. Nope, that's not what we're looking in this specific method. This specific art method, this specific psychological art method, coach method. By coach, I mean by using this method, you're actually going to help yourself achieve certain things and get your quests out. In this art method, we are not looking for any shapes except the ones I mentioned before, which is circle, square, and triangle. And like I said, and today in the session, we're only covering circles. Okay. Here, I have something that looks like a circle, but it's so like skewed. I wanna make it harmonious and make it into a circle. There you go. Turned it into a circle, and I'm going to curve it out so it will actually integrate inside my composition. You see? You see what I'm doing? I'm adding necessary neurographic lines that go through the newly created circle to connect it to the nearby lines and nearby other circle. And this, look, now it harmoniously integrated into my picture. Now, creating a circle, I want to tell you something. Because we have neurographic lines which have curves in them, any curve like I showed you can be taken and turned into a circle. Take this curve, turning into a circle. I'm not drawing a full circle because I want it to be tucked in under my main big circle. Now, I'm going to start coloring in now, and I invite you to do the same if you are ready, if you created a few circles already. I am going to use my favorite new highlighters. I got pastel highlighters. Usually highlighters, I have another pack of highlighters, and they're nice and rich. They're very like, you know, they're very beautiful. When you color them in, your picture really comes to life. My new markers are pastel. They also have nice, rich, vivid color to them, but they also can be nice and pastel, which is something I sometimes want in my picture. Like certain, you'll see now, certain aspects of my picture I would like to be more pastel, and certain pictures, certain aspects, certain circles, certain sides I would like to be a little more vivid and some less vivid. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop. This is an ongoing process. It can be unlimited, I promise you. Creating circles is one of my favorites because I want to tell you another little secret about neurographic art. Circles, when you create circles, circles bring harmony. I'm actually, like I mentioned at the beginning of the class, I'm actually preparing a master class now, a workshop on neurographic art and Kabbalah. And I want to tell you, one of the aspects is about circles. And it's amazing because circles was one, if not, well, actually it is the very first element that God used to create the world. So this is truly amazing that whenever, and Pavel Piskaryov, the founder of NeuroGraphica, he says that whenever you draw a circle, you start feeling better. You start feeling more harmonious, and circle is a resource. This is by adding circles to your picture, you're adding resources to your quest. Basically, what I mean by that is that when you draw a circle, you create, not just add, you create the resources. Now, this may be the resource that you already have, or it may be some new resources that are yet to be created. And this is a resource that's going to help you reach your quest. Now, this is a very basic introductory class. In my more advanced classes, I talk more about how you can actually use each circle and how you can turn it into a specific resource. But today we're just talking about simple introduction. I am ready for coloring. Okay, one more circle. I told you I can never stop with the circles. I just go on and on with them. I truly enjoy creating the circles. Okay, curve them out and then put the black marker down because I really should start coloring. Okay, ready, people? Let's get ready for the creative part of your work. Well, actually everything I find to be very creative, but like I mentioned before, when you do the curving and actually even when you draw the circle, that's more of a meditative part of your work where you get to think, what can I do here and what can I turn this into? What circle would this resource be? You know, I mean, what resource would this circle be? And the rest. For now, let's start coloring. Now, there are different ways to color. You can color any way you want to. I'm going to show you how I like to color my pictures. And the rule of the thumb in neurographic art is when you start coloring, choose a color. Now, there's a separate class that I am creating on that talks about specific colors and how you can choose specific colors to bring out whatever resource you need in your art. But for now, what I'm doing now, I'm not doing that. What I'm going to teach you is to use your intuition. Remember, intuition is an integral part of neurographic art. Use your intuition in order to bring this picture into life, okay? Now, I'm looking at the colors. This is my colors. And I'm looking and seeing which color talks to me, which color just calls out to me. And this is the color that I'm going to use. I like this color. This is the color I'm going to use. Now, important to remember, if we start coloring and we only color, let's say I chose this dark blue color, deep blue, And let's say it's more like, I don't know, aqua, like velvet blue. Anyway, let's say I colored this blue, and I colored this blue, and I colored this blue, right? 3 different blue colors are standing out. They're not unified. What I'm seeking in this picture, see how many different parts do we have? And even the circles, they're united into a circle. They're not standing out as much. What I'm trying to do with my coloring is to bring out certain aspects of my picture. And by aspects, I mean resources. And by resources, in this case, I mean circles. So what I'm going to work specifically at this point, you can start your own way. Sometimes I like to start with smaller circles. But today, I would like to start the big circle. I would like to work on coloring my big circle first. And then I will go on to the next circle and next and next and next. So I would like to color this circle. It has a lot of lines, a lot of beautiful like shapes in it. I would like to create some kind of flow when I color, and this is how I do my neurographic art. I create a flow. So for now, I'm going to create a flow only within the big circle. I'm not going beyond at this point. I'm looking at the picture from the far, you know, I'm like moving a little bit away, and now what I'm doing is I'm going to create a flow starting. You can even turn around the picture to see different angles that you would like to bring out. Okay, I see a flow. This is a flow I'm going to color in with my color. Do you see what I'm doing? When you color, you make sure you color at least 5 pictures, 5 shapes in your picture that are next to each other, okay? Not one here, one here, one here, one here. No, that's not what we want. We want to create a unification. We want to bring, it's called unification and bringing out the big shapes, okay? Because we have a lot of little shapes. And same thing in our life. We have a lot of, it's like our body parts, you know, they're all separate. But what we ultimately want, and this is the goal of our body, of the brain, so to say, actually, is for our body to work harmoniously. And look at this. I just colored in and so that the bottom part is not curved out enough. What am I doing? I am curving it out. Okay. Look, this is what I colored in. And now I'm thinking I left the circle out. Should I leave it out? Or should I color it in? I may want to leave it out because I want it to be like, you know, artistically interesting. But like I mentioned before, what I'm going to color is the outer circle. So I'm going to finish coloring this part in. Do you see what's happening? I created a big figure. This is so important to take smaller figures, smaller shapes, and bring out the bigger figure in your picture, okay? It's like taking your body parts, taking your right hand and your left hand, and making them work together for the sake, for the unification, and in order to bring the goal that your body needs, let's say in this case, drawing, okay? And that's the goal. Now, next color. Oh, I have a purple is smiling at me. So I'm going to take it. I'm going to see which compositions in my picture I would like to color purple. I see it now. This is it. I see that somewhere my angles are not curved enough. I'm actually going to take my marker and curve them out. This is an ongoing process. Okay. Let's finish the purple. Okay, what's the next color? For some reason I'm thinking pink. Yes, pink. This is what I'm going to do. This is the creative part of drawing NeuroGraphica. The meditative, the analyzing part is kind of, well, not fully over, but it's kind of over. Now is the creative part. Let your creativity take over you. Go with whatever intuition you have. Take any color you want to and start coloring. Start bringing anything you want to, any ideas you ever had about art. Guess what? This is the time to bring it out. You know why? Because this is the art where there are no rules when it's come to coloring, except what I told you, right? Where the pictures have to, like, kind of, you have to color few shapes at a time, okay? Do not color just one shape. Like even what I'm doing now, you see, I colored 3 shapes and they're like kind of separated from each other. But look what happens. I'm coloring these 2 shapes together. This is how I'm unifying and creating a big figure. I'm coloring these 2 shapes together. And guess what? My composition is actually going to be something else. You're going to see now what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the purple back and I'm going to create alternate coloring. What happens over here? This and this. How do you like this? Do you see what happened? Kind of created a beach ball. Well, part of it, it has like a little waves and different colors alternating, but together they form a composition. So now, next color that I have, I'm gonna bring yellow in here. There we go. And expand on this and add more velvet blue in the picture. See, I'm connecting these shapes as well to the ones I colored before to create a bigger figure. And this is the point. This is the reason why we need it. What else I can add? Now, I want to tell you something. Sometimes I don't always see the colors that I need, and I go with my intuition, even if I don't always necessarily creatively see it. And sometimes I leave the picture and color it the next day because my creative flow works better that way. So that's, for the sake of this picture today, we're actually going to finish today because I would like for you to see the finished picture, and I would like for you to see how I finish my neurographic picture. And there is one more important step that we're going to add toward the end, actually, at the very end when we finish fully coloring the picture. So you know what? I'm going to add more of this color. Okay. I'm going to keep the pink and purple color and color it in like this at this point. Okay, this is happening also. Look at this, look how it's coming alive. My circle is coming alive. It's very exciting to see the neurographic art picture coming alive because there are so many variations of what you can color in and as a result create. You can actually do is like before you color in, take a picture that you created, the neurographic picture without the coloring in, and make a copy of it, a Xerox copy of it, and then you can color it different ways. So that's an interesting experiment as well that maybe we can do in one of the workshops, in one of the sessions. Okay, I'd like to curve this out a little more. Okay, look at this. And I have a little white circle, which I think I'm going to color blue. Don't know why, but I'm letting my intuition do the job this time. Okay. Okay, so that's my bigger circle. The next step, we're going to work on the smaller circle. So now we're going to color in the second circle. Again, everybody choose their own creative way to do it. I am doing it like I have an idea in my mind, and that's how I'm going to color it in. I'm going to keep with the same motif as the first circle and just make it alternating colors. Okay, keep it green. There's actually a whole class on what colors mean, and let's say what color green means, and that workshop is called color therapy, so to say. So this is an amazing. And do you see something in there? Yep, I left another circle. I'm gonna unify it by coloring this as blue as well, so it does go in together. So these two circles are colored. Let's color other circles around, and then I will color in the lines, the beautiful shapes around it. Other circles I'm gonna make different colors. I keep with the motif of the picture and just color them in stripes, alternating color. Again, if I see something that it's not curved enough for me, I'm curving it out even more, okay? Let's say this circle seems like a little uneven, so I'm gonna add more line to it, and then again, curve it out, okay. We're doing good. Here I'm going to choose a yellow variations on color. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to stop the video and I'm going to make it time-lapse. Simply because I think it will be more fun for you to watch the way I color in a quicker motion, and then toward the end I will slow down and do the regular video again where I explain the last step in the NeuroGraphic Art. So here we are. Welcome back again. We're back and we're here. We finished the coloring the picture. Look at my picture, look at my composition. I actually have decided to bring out the circles in my picture. In the background, I kind of went with some kind of color theme that I went with my intuition. It's in my head. So what we're going to do is put the last step in the neurographic composition that we just created. So the last step is a very interesting step. It's we're going to put some neurographic lines, but they're not usual neurographic lines. The composition is finished, right? We have transformed the inner self. We have transformed the inner picture that we drew when we just made the release of the tension in the beginning. And then we also have added some neurographic lines on the sides, right, to show the environment, because we don't live in a vacuum. We live with the environment. We live with other people, with other beings, with other nature. So what we're doing right now is we're putting a different kind of neurographic line. We're going to put 2, 3, maximum 4 neurographic lines, and they only can go from one direction to another. So they can either go from, let's say, lower left to the upper right, or from lower right to the upper left. They can go vertically from down to up, or from up to down, or they can go from left to right or right to left. Okay, these lines are called the lines of the universe, or I like to call it the lines, the prayer lines. Okay, I have made my quest. I have made my plea. I have drawn it. I have thought it out. I have figured it out. I meditated upon it. This is what I was doing while I was coloring it. I was thinking about it. You know, I transformed it. Now, this is to show that, yes, we're human beings and we live in this beautiful world. And yes, I do think the world is beautiful. It's up to us to make it beautiful. And that's this is the goal of each one of us, to make the world beautiful in any way that we find suitable. That's a different philosophical discussion, but what we're doing now is we are kind of saying that there is a power that's beyond us. Some people call it the power of the universe. I call it the power of God. What I'm saying is that I enjoy making plans and I enjoy talking about them, but ultimately I know that I ask for something and now it's up to God. This is how I pray. I am putting my picture into a prayer, so to say. I'm putting my quest, so to say. My quest goes into a prayer, and that's the point of this picture. That's the point of this neurographic lines that I'm drawing now. So I am thinking I'm going to draw the lines from up to down. That's my choice. Like I said, you make your own choice. Now, what color do you choose? Choose the color that will match with your picture the most possible optimal way. So I'm looking at my color palette and I decided I want to use a pink one. Also choose the lines that are not very vivid, okay? You want the lines to integrate very nicely and optimally into your picture. You don't want any lines that will stand out very boldly. I mean, that may be good for another picture, but at this point in the beginning, this is the beginner's level for neurographic art. You want to choose, I usually choose a yellow color. Yellow usually integrates well with everything because yellow is such a pale color. It actually, yellow highlighter, not a yellow marker, yellow highlighter is very important. It kind of integrates with the picture and it kind of does not stand out, which is what we don't want. We want the picture to stay the way it is. But what I would like to do is, I'm going to use a pink because I have a pink color going here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some pink. See what I'm doing? I actually don't see it at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a pink marker and I'm going to go over it. Ready? Take two. Now you see it, right? One. Well, I definitely see it. I don't know about you. Two. Very simple. Nothing complicated, you know, just a line going up to down. Now what I'm going to do is I want this neurographic line, this neuro pathways to be nice and strong because they're not just any neuro pathway lines. They're talking to God. So I'm kind of like elaborating on my prayer. So I'm going over the lines again, making them a little thicker. And that's my prayer lines, or universal lines we also call them. And there you go. You see what happens when I added those lines? They don't add a lot to the picture. They just add a little, you know, like a little line, like a little something into the picture, and something like, once I add those lines, I kind of feel like the picture is going into the effect already. So here's my picture. Here's my neurographic picture. And I enjoyed spending time with you. Please remember to go on Planet NeuroGraphic Art and enter my group. If you like the video, please like it on the YouTube. And I'm asking you to please share with your friends, because like I said, I'm on a mission to spread neurographic art in United States, and I would love for you to be my amazing helpers. I'm looking forward to more videos. Have another amazing program coming up. I'd like to thank you for joining me on this beautiful adventure, on this beautiful journey of drawing neurographic art. I'm very happy to share the magic with you. Stay tuned with my page, MONGA, Magic of Neurographic Art, and follow for more videos. I have lots of exciting news coming up where I will teach you how to draw neurographic art using different algorithm. You know, the steps that I just showed you, they're called algorithm. So I showed you one algorithm. There are so many different ways to reach what you want, to reach your quest. And as well, I will be making more videos that teach you how to make a quest, how to draw something that will be, you know, specifically oriented. Let's say how to attract money, how to attract love, how to attract certain specific circumstances in your life. What the basic of neurographic art is. Very happy to see you and welcome to MONGA. Enjoy the magic. If you like the video, please press like on the the video and share with your friends. I will be very happy to see more and more people learning how to do neurographic art. Enjoy.